Hello everyone! In this video I'll show you how to create the effect for the material changing lamp that I used in my Bridge Between Worlds game. First of all, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Angel Beltran for requesting this tutorial, and Victor Burgos Games for playing the game and giving some supportive feedback on the effect. Alright, let's get started. First things first, I'll create a new project under the first person blueprint template. This example was created in the 4.18.2 preview, but it should work on really any version of the engine. Alright, so now that we're in the engine, I'm going to show this a little bit more. Here I'll change to the first person BP folder and in blueprints, and I'll just add a new material here. I'll call it new material because I have no creativity. Open that up, drag it up here. Now the key behind this trick is to use a parameter that will reference in a dynamic material that we can pass location data through as well as a radius, so we know like how many pixels in the sphere it should be changing. So we'll do that by creating a parameter, and I'll do it by holding 3 and clicking, left clicking, to create this. I guess it's a constant, but you can right click it and convert it to parameter. We'll want to set this to a name other than none, so I'll name it sphere. And what we'll use is the red, green, and blue channels as X, Y, and Z. So here I'll create a make float 3. This will give us a 3-dimensional vector that we can use. And then I'll also pull the world position. So I think, yeah, type position, world position, make sure it's absolute. We'll take this and subtract this. And then this value will give us like a sphere, basically. So we'll find the length. There we go. It's going to default to vector 2, but you want a vector 3. Move all this over a little bit. And now we want to take this value, which is going to be our input radius, and subtract it, or subtract this vector parameter from the radius here. It'll all make sense in a minute, don't worry about it. So what we'll do is clamp this between 1 and 0, and then provide a 1 minus node. That gives us, 1 minus this value between 0 and 1, so it'll always be within those parameters. Alright, cool. So now if we want to make this like partially transparent, like when it's within that sphere, what we can do is set this material to be masked, which opens up this node, and plug that in. Now everything disappeared, and the reason for that is we haven't given this a default value. So we'll click this, open default value, and set the alpha channel to something like, I don't know, 100. And here we go, we have a circle. Now whatever you pass through this, and I'm sorry, one more quick thing is that if you were to instead use this 1 minus node, it would only make the center sphere transparent. Now, you can use these two with multiply, so like if I were to create 2 separate colors, make this blue, make this one, I don't know, gray, then what we can do is multiply this by these parameters here and add them together. Because no matter what, like even if this one is completely overriding, it would be 1 times this, but then this would be 0 times this. So it'd still kind of add up to 1. And here we have 2 separate materials. And you can plug in any data into these multiply nodes, and it'll go through exactly the same way. Alright, so now what I'll do is go into the probably the player blueprint, and I'll create like a lamp object that we can use for testing. Let's call it cube. I'll probably stick it on the gun here, make it really small. Oh no. Make it really small. Do that lock. Alright. and place that somewhere around here. So when we play, it's kind of obvious where it's at. Oh, that's even better. All right, cool. So now what we'll do is create a new variable, and we'll just turn this into a vector, compile, and then on the tick node, so every frame, we want to set this value, which I guess I should probably name, to the position of this cube in world space. So we'll get world location, compile, make sure this is visible, it's public, because what we can do is go into another object, like I'll just create a simple actor here, I'll call it cube, give it a cube, give this physics, and set the material to this new material that we have here. And probably save this. That's kind of important. Okay, so now in the cube, on the event graph, we just, well, I guess we need the event begin play, and we will create dynamic material instance. We don't want to do this every frame because we don't want to have it like recreate the dynamic material every time. So we do it once in the beginning, and then we can drag this node out here to create a new variable, call this material. And then under this dropdown, we can select the material that we created, which I believe it was new material. All right, so now under event tick, we want to get material, and then set parameter. Set, if I could type, that'd be awesome. All right, set parameter. And make linear color. All right, so just like we did like pulling information out, we need to put information in. So what we're going to do is get, right. What we need to do is reference the player character here. So I'll cast to, what's it called? First person character, sorry. First person character. And this will be get player. Player. Hooray, it worked. All right. And then promote this to variable, and we'll call this character. So what we can do is get character, get loc. Probably should have come up with a better variable name, but it's there at the bottom. Break this, plug it into X, Y, Z. Give it a radius, let's say 50. Compile. And then add a few of these cubes into the world. Now whenever we get close... Oh, that's not good. Alright. What broke? Oh, we need to state the parameter name. This is how it knows what to modify. Alright. Hopefully that was the only issue. It was! Cool. So whenever this was within that radius, the material will change. And kind of do like a simulated lighting or whatever. And just for fun, I'm going to set that back to the opacity. And cube, set this to 100. I'm just kind of playing around from here. But one thing I could show you is that, let's say we place this material on this wall here. It'll kind of freak out, have to compile a little bit. But it does something very interesting, where it doesn't actually work. And the reason for that is that you can only apply this material to things that can have dynamic material instances created and set to. And as far as I know, that can't be done with BSP meshes. Now, if you remember from my game in the video that I uploaded, the floors and ceilings did change, and the way I did that was the entire world was programmed into a single blueprint because it was a game jam, and I kind of just did whatever I could. But probably not great for world assets, like huge, assets like that, or anything you want to use BSP with. But just for small testing or for small objects, it works really good. And that's about it. I guess if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. If you guys want to see anything else, please let me know. Yeah, hope this was helpful.